Hi there. It's the 10th year of OpenID Connect celebration, and as part of it, I'm going to present Oh It's Damn Complex, OIDC, message to new protocol designers. My credentials are all here in the screen. For X, please follow. For website, please subscribe. For the YouTube, please do subscribe. I've got many hats. I'm doing this as a NAT Consulting LLC's CEO, but I've got other hats as well, like OpenID Foundation chairs, My Data Japan chairs, so on and so forth. So all those perspectives are put into this. So let's get started. Now, what is OpenID Connect? Well, OpenID Connect is online selective claims disclosure protocol. It's fully distributed. It can have the claim sources that aggregates claim into the OP and SIOP, OpenID provider and self-issued OpenID provider, and provide it to relying party, as well as we can have distributed claim sources like in here, to which we can just give the authorization grant and claims comes to the relying party on the fly from the source. All of these are controlled by the user consent. So the entire framework is known to be user-centric, and that's the premise of OpenID Connect. The unfortunate thing is that much of the facilities that we have written out in OpenID Connect specification has not been used. For example, this distributed claim and aggregated claim idea hasn't been implemented very widely. I know a few instances of this, but it's not been implemented widely. That's why, from a lot of people, OpenID Connect is talked about as a two-party model, which really isn't true. They're just taking the two-party portion of OpenID Connect, but that's the reality. OpenID Connect itself is widely successful. It's used in a wide array of use cases, starting from social logins like sign in with Apple, sign in with Google, and sign in Facebook. That means that you guys are pretty much using OpenID Connect whenever you're using your smartphone. And there are a lot of national identity schemes, even looking at just EU, Norway, Netherlands, Belgium, France, and Italy are using OpenID Connect as their national identity schemes. And you can see how far the take-up goes. In the case of Norway, it's 79%. In the Netherlands, 87%. Belgium, 58%. France, 61%. Italy, 61%. So compared to other protocols which has been deployed in other countries in Europe, we are seeing a lot of take-up from the population, which is good. OpenID Connect also had user-centric account URI and OpenID / self-issued OpenID provider facility. Account URI is that you put your domain into it, you choose any identity provider and you just put the domain into it. And you will be able to use that identity provider domain as your OpenID provider, so that you will get K anonymity, as well as you're not going to be bound by the big techs. But that didn't get deployed. OpenID clone / is a self-issued OpenID provider. It's an OpenID provider on your phone. I have one myself, but it's not been deployed so much. It's not been accepted by the ruling party so much, so that it's not really deployed. So that's really unfortunate. And the result is that OpenID Connect is being called social network logging or something like that, but the reality isn't. It's just that the part of the specification which disseminated so widely was the social logging and national logging kind of things. The philosophy behind it is really, really distributed and really, really user-centric. Now, this OpenID Connect didn't happen in a vacuum. We had a rich history behind it. If we can trace it back until 1999 when xns.org was found, which eventually ended up as XRI, which became the discovery protocol of OpenID 2.0. And OpenID Connect has also learned a lot about from the SAMLs, XML-DSIG, and things like that, and the problems with DSIG, XML-DSIGs, and so on and so forth. And we stood on the shoulder of the giants and fixed the problems and delivered OpenID Connect 1.0 by the end of 2014 as the final specification, although it's been used quite widely since 2011. There were early decisions in the journey. Because we were bound so much with the XML signature in the SAML, we decided that we are not going to do no canonicalization. And because we didn't believe the intermediary softwares, the middlewares, not tinkering with the strings, we decided with ASCII armoring. At the time, those middleware tend to remove the carriage return, the non-printable characters and things like that, and do their own canonicalization, which was not good. So we decided to avoid that by introducing ASCII armoring. And then instead of a SOAP, we decided to use REST. And instead of XML, we decided to use JSON. But the JSON actually didn't have the signature format, so we have to devise it. And there were three competing JSON signature thing. The one which I and John Bradley created, JSON Simple Signature, and Magic Signature that Doug Belfont and John Panzer was thinking of. And there was another one from the Microsoft coming out. So we decided to make them together and uniform, and that has become JWX. Also, we thought of using OAuth 1.0 as the substrate for the protocol, but OAuth 1.0 had those canonicalization and signature scheme, which was brittle, and we didn't like it. So we were almost creating our own thing, and then Descartes and Alain Tom came about and presented OAuth Wrap, which removed all the canonicalization and signature from OAuth. So we jumped on it and decided to use it. So there came the OAuth Wrap, which later became OAuth 2.0. And that's one reason why OpenID Connect is called to be a OAuth 2.0 extension. But we were actually running before OAuth 2.0. We adopted OAuth 2.0 on the journey. OpenID Connect has much more features than you might imagine. Those features often are not very widely deployed, but nevertheless quite useful. When we introduce it, it's gotten the pushback that, oh, it's damn complex, OIDC. But the authors, pushed back onto that and kept those features. Number one is aggregated and distributed claims. Number two is the granular claims request. Using granular claim request, you can actually do a pretty granular selective disclosure without linkability among the belonging parties. And we also have essential and optional claims structure. We have account URI to discover the identity server. We have policy URL and TOS URL, which is now being started to be used after 10 years. Policy URL is the URL of the privacy policy by the belonging party, and the authorization server fetches the policy URL and shows it to the user and keeps record of it, because the content of the policy URL can be changed anytime, and if that happens, one can actually dispute that. And the same happens with a TOS URL. So this is the consumer protection feature. And then request object. A lot of people say that request object isn't necessary in the beginning, but now it is actually used quite extensively in FAPI and in the context of push authorization request and rich authorization request. So it was good to have this facility after all, as planned. So what lessons we learned that could apply to other initiatives? Well, be persistent till you succeed. Learn from history. Fix what was not done well. Find the developer pain and solve it. And make it simple to read, simple to implement for the minimum viable case. Without those, I don't think OpenID Connect would have flied. Yes, with the most complicated model, it would be able to solve all the simple models, but the cognitive barrier would have prohibited from it being deployed widely. So it was actually good to have easy to implement introductory section and the more advanced section later, so that the developer's journey is going to be a continuous thing. So that's our learning from OpenID Connect. Hopefully that's quite useful. So that's it, and please do subscribe to this channel. If you liked it, hit the good button and bell button for the notification, and see you in a couple of weeks. Bye bye.